the hell kind of directions is this doing today? This is day 2 hair. Like this one, okay, this one wants to stay straight. Who knows? We're still figuring out the short hair. But anyways, welcome to Chat, Chill, and Get Ready with me. It has been a long time coming. I used to do these every single month and I have kind of fallen off of them. Honestly, because I need to have a time when I can sit down and spend like a longer time getting ready. And quite frankly, I have just not had that time. So these videos have not happened. But now, today, we have the time. So we're gonna do it. As always, I ask 4 questions over on my Instagram and on my YouTube community tab for questions every month. So that's where these all came from. I'm gonna try to get through them. Y'all know I can be really long-winded, and also like I'm not going anywhere today, so I'm only getting ready to make this video and to film then like my April TBR, my May TBR and my April wrap up. This is not shaping up to go well that I already can't speak. I'm gonna try to like do maybe a little bit more, just that way I give myself a little more time because I have a problem with talking too much. So anyways, but first of all, so I don't really like look at these beforehand because I don't really want to like prep, like I want to just be able to kind of like answer them off the rip. However, and they're in no particular order, but I did get 2 like how are you and how have you and the kitties been doing lately that I'm gonna start off with, because I've also been very inconsistent over the past like honestly it's been like months now, but I'm gonna start with those just to kind of like lay the foundation of where I'm at and everything. But to start with, I'm doing really good. The kitties are doing really good. They're both over here. They're sleeping on clean laundry right now because that is their favorite. That's their favorite chore to help do. They love when the clean, warm laundry comes out of the dryer. So they're both snoozing over here. But kitties are doing good. I am doing good. I feel like I don't really often have like enough time in the day, but at the same time, like everything that I'm doing, I mean, mine is like just like regular work, right, to like survive. Like that's not, you know, like ideal. That's not like yippee every morning, like waking up for that. But everything else that I kind of have going on in my life right now, in terms of like things that I'm doing, I'm having a lot of fun with, like I'm in a good place with. So I'm doing good. I will say like YouTube has kind of had to take the back burner as I've been doing edits, and then also like a lot of my filming and writing time have just been, you know, allocated to other things that are making me happy and that I want to spend my time doing, that I am choosing to prioritize over always making videos. I'll be completely honest with that. And that kind of feeds into another one of the questions, but for the basis, I'm good. I'm happy. And part of the reason of that, and which I got this question of, can we get a boyfriend reveal? Because I used to talk in these, you know, I've been doing these for what, like over a year, almost. Have I been doing these videos for almost 2 years now? I think I have. So obviously you guys have seen me through many phases in those 2 years. And I would talk, you know, like about dating a little bit, or just like about, you know, being on the apps and stuff. And then I think some of you noticed I kind of stopped answering any dating related questions towards like the end of last year. And then I really haven't done many Chat, Chill, and Get Ready with me's. However, I have mentioned in like week in my life vlogs, you know, or even like one video, because I had read a book that I like swapped with my boyfriend. So I have like mentioned that, yes, I'm seeing someone. Yes, he's my boyfriend now. This is not going to turn into like a lifestyle channel where then I'm going to be like talking about like my relationship or anything. But however, he is like a part of my life. And I get that you guys maybe like want to reveal or like, I don't know, see him, I guess. But I would say probably not, just because like he wouldn't really like fit in with my content. Here is just books. Like I do day in the life vlogs, which I guess maybe at some point, like if he ever wants to like pop in the background to one of those clips, like fine. But I don't really think that he like fits in, you know, like with my content, because it really is just books. We're just chatting about books over here. So anyways, yeah, I don't foresee doing like a full like reveal, but if he happens to pop in the back of a vlog ever, although I don't really ever vlog around other people because it makes me feel awkward. I hate like even in front of my friends, like I hate vlogging in front of them. So like he fully knows that this channel exists. He watches, he sends me screenshots, the most horrendous screenshots ever. So babe, if you're watching this, I'm sure I'll get some from this video as well. But yeah, that I would say probably not, but I know like a lot of you are like curious, or not like curious in like a just a nosy way, but because you guys like genuinely care, because like, you know, we have this rapport on here. So I will just say that yes, like I'm very happy. And yeah, I guess I'll kind of keep it at that, you know, that, and I feel like that's what you guys care about the most, is that yes, I'm happy. He's, you know, someone that I prioritize spending my time with because we can't see each other during the week. We work completely opposite schedules during the week where we like legitimately cannot see each other. So, you know, then on the weekends when usually that would be all of like, I would just like write and film and read on the weekends, where now it's like, I still do that. Like I still get work done, but it's not like all day because now like I have him and like I want to spend time with him and I want to be doing things with him, especially just as it's getting nicer. So yeah, like that has like affected my time a little bit more, but not in like a bad way, because I feel like if anything, it's just made me, I'm more motivated, I guess, to like sit down and work, because I know that then when I like have time to work, I'm like, okay, this is my time to work, this is my time to spend with him, or even like my friends, my family, whatever. So yeah, I've just been learning how to manage my time. That is that update, I guess. Where's my sponge? Okay, can we get a bookshelf tour? I did one back, which actually maybe now it's been a while. Has it been almost a year now, actually? Because I think I did one back when I moved into this apartment. And maybe that's been over a year now that I've been here. So maybe actually I can do an updated one. Yeah, I thought that mine hadn't been that long ago, but actually, yeah, maybe it's been over a year. So yes. I can definitely do a bookshelf tour soon. Have you watched the Culpable series or My Fault London? No, I haven't watched either of those. Honestly, I'm really bad with watching new shows. I'm such a creature of habit. I love rewatching the same shows over and over and over again. But however, Nikki from Nikki and Bookland, I know she really loved My Fault London. So I do want to check that out. So at some point, yes, but again, like I'm also on such a reality TV show kick, especially in the summer. In the summer, all I want to do is watch reality TV. So I'm just waiting for Love Island to come back, quite frankly. Like, I need it now. Have you watched School Spirits? Again, I don't even know what that is. I have not heard of that. So no, I have not. Can we have a crumb of your favorite out of context smutty line from Goalie? Oh shit. This is one I should have answered on Instagram probably, because then I could have like included a screenshot and I could have like gone through it. I literally just this morning sent off Goalie for like the final time over to my editor, and I should have like picked something, like I should have known that to pick something out then. I don't think it's like necessarily a smut, but it's like a repeated line that then like builds up into a lot of tension. And like one of my favorite scenes that like Luke repeatedly asks Lennon, like, what do you want from me? And, you know, she doesn't just want him to be her coach. So that's not like necessarily a smutty line, but also like I am monetized on here and I'm not trying to get demonetized. So we'll roll with that. Who are your writing inspirations? Authors, people, friends, poets. Okay. I wish I could be one of those people who's like, oh my God, I love poetry, read it all the time. No, I'm not. Writing inspirations, I would say, I think in terms of a book that I would love to write, which granted then it couldn't be technically a romance, but I would love to write a non-HEA book one day. I would warn you guys, obviously, but I would really, really love to write that. And I think one of my like earliest authors who was very ruthless with her characters and very purposeful with character death, and I know it pissed a lot of people off, but it did not piss me off, is Veronica Roth. Like I love her use of character death and like the intention behind each of her characters' deaths. I really love. So I would say I love like, I guess that aspect of her writing, but obviously she's not like a romance writer, so that not directly. I'd say like immediate author or like romance authors. I'd say like Lucia Franco in terms of how she builds her relationships and how much they feel like real people. Like they feel like very real rounded and very well-rounded individuals in books. I feel like that sometimes in my own head, things are more well-rounded, but then getting them on a page is like harder. So I'd say maybe her for that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I'd say, like, there's so many authors that, like, when I read, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I love this about their style. I love how they used this here. So I'd say I'm always, like, being inspired by them, but I guess, like, direct inspiration, we'll roll with those two for now. What are your thoughts on book to movie / show adaptations? They're always better, like, the books are always better, but there are some really good ones. I'd say it varies widely. I'm really glad to see more, like, romance books getting picked up for adaptations. I would love to continue to see that trend, like, going in that direction, because I think there's so many great stories to tell, and obviously, like, there is an audience out there for it, but I do think that it is tricky. Me personally, though, you know what I don't want? I honestly don't want Throne of Glass, and I don't want ACOTAR. I don't want those adaptations, because in my head, they are never going to live up, and I'm never going to be able to picture the books the same way again once those are out, unless if HBO picks up Throne of Glass and makes it like Game of Thrones style. Otherwise, I don't want it. So there's certain of my like favorites that I'm like, please don't touch them. But like the Twisted series, I cannot fucking wait for that. Same with Off Campus, cannot wait for that. I'm really, really excited about those. But again, I'll temper my expectations just because like of how much I love those books, that, you know, I feel like they can just never top. They can never be at the same level as the books. Have you watched The Summer I Turned Pretty? So I watched did I finish the first season? I started that show. And then I never finished it. Not because I didn't like it. I was enjoying it. But again, I think I just kind of like fell off of it. And as I said, I don't really love watching new things, but maybe when the whole show is out, is the last season coming out? Maybe when it's like actually out and everything, then I will not read it. Maybe then I'll watch it. Love your vlogs. Would you do one where you reread vlog of your faves to see if they still hit? Yes. Okay, actually I said yes too quickly off the bat. First of all, thank you for loving my vlogs, because often when then I'm editing them, I'm like, like I get the most like doubt from my vlogs, because I feel like I don't like do enough, or like I don't take you guys like out enough, because a lot of my life is at my apartment, quite frankly. Or like at work, and I'm not taking you to my regular corporate job. So I feel like they're often boring. So thank you. I appreciate that. I would, but here's the thing is that I think I actually started that when I reread Garen Park last year, but then, and like that still hits, still 5 stars, 6 stars. But I never finished that vlog because I really don't like, especially right now when I don't have a ton of time for reading, I don't like having to stick to a schedule with reading. Like I just want to be able to read whatever I'm in the mood for, whenever I'm in the mood for it. And when you do vlogs, you do obviously have to like stick to a schedule, and I just don't like that. So I don't know. I'd say probably not, but maybe. Will you be taking a pause from writing, or do you have plans to release multiple books each year? I don't have any plans on pausing writing, even with, like I said, me being busier and like having some new priorities in my life. Like writing is what I love to do, and it will always remain like a part of my life, and I have no plans to take a break. I mean, so I did, I guess, take kind of like a bit of a small break while I was editing Goalie. I was supposed to start writing Take Me Home, which is Reed's book, and I haven't yet. Actually, like today is kind of the day that I'm supposed to start writing it, so probably this afternoon I will be getting into Take Me Home and starting that. So I guess I took maybe like a month break off of writing, but like it wasn't a full break because I was still editing, so I would say no. And yes, I do have plans to release multiple books. Honestly, I feel like my pace is pretty good. Like I feel like the pace that I had last year and the pace that I'm kind of going for this year is still pretty on target. I will not, did I release a book this year? No, because I released, okay, so I guess I'm going to technically be releasing 2 books and a novella this year, where last year I released 3 books, but that's fine with me. So I'm releasing Goalie May 30th, and then I won't announce a release date yet, but I will say Reed's book is going to be coming in fall of this year, and then Walker and Scar's novella will follow. Hopefully like very shortly after that. And then yeah, I do already have at least 1 book that I'm really gonna try to pull together for next year. But however, that one would be on a bit of a tight timeline, similar to Starting Line, if you catch my drift. So we'll have to see if I can pull that together. It's mostly if I can get my shit together with Take Me Home and Save Me for Myself, and if I can get that book together in time. But yeah, otherwise next year, I'm not planning on slowing down. I'm planning on trying to keep the pace though. I don't think I can speed up. I can't go any faster, but I'm trying to keep the same pace. What do you think of the cast for Sunrise on the Reaping so far? Yes. So far, at least to date, when I am filming this, only 4 people have been announced. Plutarch, Lenore Dove, Young Haymitch, and who was the 4th one? Oh, Maisie Donner. Obsessed. Okay, like cool. I'm cool with them all. And I'm excited to keep seeing more casting. Will you ever read Zodiac Academy? It's not that I've purposely like avoided, like honestly, I don't even know what Zodiac Academy is about, quite frankly. It's not like I've avoided it on purpose, but I will say, especially as someone now who has less time to read, the idea of diving into how many books, I genuinely don't even know how many books there are in that series. Are there like 9 or 10? And then isn't there a spin-off series that aren't there like 18 or something total? I could be wrong on that. You can correct me in the comments. But I think there's a shit ton of books in that series. And the idea, and they're all long too. It's not like Ice Planet Barbarians where they're all like 300 pages, but it's like an 18 book series. I think they're all like 5, 6, 7, 800 pages long. I just don't think I can commit to that right now, quite frankly. So I don't know. It is nothing against the books personally. I just don't know if I want to commit to that much reading. It's that long of books. I don't know. I don't know if I can do that, but I know so many people love it. So never say never, but I'd say at least for right now, probably no. Your thoughts on some readers not classifying the Torment duet as a romance? I mean, me personally, I guess I technically wouldn't classify it as a romance either. So I guess I would fall into that camp. I would probably classify it as a love story. I would say it's like heavy romance, but it's like more love story, you know? Because like for romance to be considered a romance, it has to have one very important thing. And like technically I wouldn't classify that as that. So I guess I fall into that camp. Also, I just realized I didn't wipe the foundation off my lips, and that drives me crazy every time I'm editing these. And then I realized that I didn't do that. Also, we're just gonna use my t-shirt because I'm not getting up to get a Kleenex. Oh no, that's not gonna show through, is it? This is a new shirt. Actually, Dorian, can I steal this washcloth, please? Would you ever do a chat chill with Katie or just a video talking about movies/shows with her? So in case if you didn't know, me and one of my best friends, Katie, used to have a podcast called Popcorn Chats where we talked about all things movies and TV shows. And first of all, I love this question. And literally just last night, Katie and I were talking about like her like rebranding Popcorn Chats to do like her own like just solo show and everything. And like, so maybe stay tuned for that. But I would love to maybe have Katie do like a video like that, or, you know, if she gets this new kind of show going, then maybe I can go and be a guest on that and we talk about them on there. But yeah, I'd say, you know, obviously like book videos, it doesn't like, that doesn't necessarily fit over here, like that kind of content fit in on here, but thank you so much for asking because we loved doing that. That was so much fun. Which of your characters would win Survivor? Felicia, thank you for this. I love this question. Okay. I feel like I'm going to have to pick two. I'm picking one hero, one heroine. And I feel like this is a bit of a cop-out considering Goalie, or not a cop-out, but it's just not like maybe as fun for you guys considering Goalie isn't out yet. But for my heroine, I'm picking Lennon, my heroine from Goalie. I think she would do the best. She's very athletic. She's very like likable to other people. She's, you know, I think she could socialize herself well with people. And I think she could do pretty good in the outdoors. You know, she's from the Midwest, so she's used to cold. She's used to like extreme weather. So I think I'm picking her for my heroine because let's be real. Scar, she's not being nice enough to everyone and she's not being out on an island. Carter, I don't think she wants to be out in the outdoors like that. I also think she's just too like quiet and chill. She would just be like, I don't care about this. No way, Jane, you're putting her on a beach. And TJ, I think she'd be athletic enough for some of the challenges. However, I just don't think she would have the desire to. And also, she's a ginger, so I don't think she would like being out in the sun unprotected. Then for my heroes, I think I'm gonna go with Caleb. I honestly think Caleb, although he could have a problem with being like perceived as a bit of a dick, you know, but I do think he would be such a good individual immunity threat run post-merge because I think his tribe would keep him around pre-merge to help in the challenges. I think he'd be very helpful and he'd be like a bit of comedic relief. But then post-merge, I think he'd go on such an immunity, like a individual immunity run, and he'd be scrappy. He'd be looking for idols. I think he'd be smart. Like he knows how to like talk with people. I think Caleb's my winner for my heroes. Although a close second would be Walker, because he's just so charismatic and so likable that I think he would do pretty well as well. And also he's like a beefy dude, so he'd be good in challenges. He could like lift things. Top 5 to 10 fave books ever. That's like nearly impossible. How do I even begin? Top 5 to 10 favorite books ever. Okay, I mean, subject to change, okay, but let's just do 5 off the top of my head. Twist by Lucia Franco, Fourth book in the Off Balance series. Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. Seventh book, or like last book in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. Wait, did I say? Whatever. Twist. Kingdom of Ash. God of Wrath by Rena Kent. Third book in the Legacy of God series. Kill Switch by Penelope Douglas. Third book in the Devil's Night series. And... gosh, why does this last one almost feel like the hardest one? Oh, Even If It Hurts by Marty Mann. But also, Kiss the Sky by Kristen Becker. Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. Oh, stop. Okay, that was more than 5. But yeah, we'll roll with that. But like I said, subject to change, because I literally love so many. Sweet Dandelion. I love so many books I can't pick. Do you ever find yourself jotting stuff down for your stories randomly / as they come? Yes, 100%. My notes app in my phone, no one will ever be able to make sense of that. Like if I die and people go through it, they'll be like, I don't know what all this mumbo jumbo is in there, because it's literally just random book ideas or like out of context lines, or I don't know, the smallest little details, especially like right now as I'm still in the brainstorming phase of Take Me Home. My voice memo app is getting its work in, especially because a lot of times I think the best when I'm like in the shower. So I will start a voice memo and just leave it on my bathroom counter. So when I think of something, I can like call out to that. So that way I don't lose it. Kind of, I guess, crazy, but you got to do what you got to do. So yes, I do that. And that is very effective for me. It works really well. So, yes, I'm always jotting stuff down randomly around everywhere. Will we get any exposition on Reed's thoughts on Jane and Take Me Home? Yes, obviously you'll see Jane as a side character, but I would say, yeah, like you'll see them interact for sure. But also like Reed never had like actual, without spoiling, take what you want, Reed never had like feelings for Jane. He was very much just like, you know, he loves and respects her as a person just like she does him, especially because they have so much history and they've known each other for so long. And you know, I love when hot people wanna be together, or okay, but they don't want to be together because obviously Nikolai is her true love. I just love, okay, hot people want to hook up, they can hook up, okay? Especially when Nikolai's there and enjoying it too. So, you know what? Yes, but there's nothing more to it than that. Like, Reed has never had feelings for Jane, just like Jane never had feelings for Reed. It was just very much like a, in the moment, this feels right. It was more kind of about Nikolai and Reed closing a chapter for themselves than like Jane. But yeah, you'll get, I guess, more insight into just Reed as a whole, obviously. But yeah, you'll see him and Jane interacting a little bit more. Do you have a favorite out of your stories? I feel like my answer, I mean, honestly, what I'm most proud of, I'd say genuinely, is Goalie. I feel like I'm very proud of that book, and I hope you guys like can see, you know, my growth in that one. So I'd say I'm proud of that, or like that's one of my favorites. Take My Hand is just always like kind of a go-to answer for me for this, because it was my favorite book to write. It was the easiest book for me to write. I wrote that book in like 2.5 months, and it just flowed like front to back, start to finish. Those two surprised me. I loved everything about writing that book. So like that's also one of my favorite stories. Starting Line though, like again, like that's a book that I'm really proud of. That was really fun. It was my first sports romance to write. But Take What You Want was my most challenging, but like genuinely I love their love story probably the most. Their love story is probably my favorite. And then Take You Down, like it might not be my best work, but like genuinely those two are like soulmates, and like I'm so grateful for their story too. So that was a roundabout way, because I literally said all of my books, but I'd say probably Goalie or Take My Hand are my two favorites. Any books you are looking forward to reading in the second half of the year? What's even coming out in the second half of the year? Why can't I even, are there any big new, oh my god, Alchemized by Senlin Yu. Alchemized. I'm so excited for that. Harry Potter fan fiction turned published work. Y'all know how much I love Manacled. I loved Manacled so freaking much, and I am so excited for Alchemized to see this story in a new format and in a new way. Like I genuinely cannot wait. So yes, that is 100% my most like anticipated book for the second half of the year. Okay, are these all of the Instagram ones? Did I get all of those? Oh, please, I need my fix. Give me one hint on Reed. I've been patient for my man. One tiny detail about him. Like one tiny detail? He likes cats. He's a cat guy. Is that a small? Okay, that's like more just like a little thing. I guess in his mind, everything, all of his actions, he has only ever done out of love. I will say that. Even when, you know, if you've read the previous Whisper Me Nothings books and it may not seem like it, truly every single thing that he's done has been motivated by his love for the people around him, whether the intention of that comes across or not. Okay, that was all of the Instagram ones, and then I think I had 4 on YouTube, so let's go to that. And especially since I'm almost done. So no HEA book recs. So I try not to make these videos like book rec videos just because I do like book rec videos the rest of the month. So I will table this though. I don't think I've done a non-HEA book rec video in a really long time. So I will bookmark that for myself to do another one of those, because personally, as much as I love romance books, I do love getting my heart ripped out every once in a while by a non-HEA. So we will do that. How do you deal with a writer's block and a reading slump? Well, reading slump is real, especially right now. I am in a huge reading slump, and honestly, I don't know. It's not fun, but I would say the biggest thing that I do is I just make myself read every single day. Even if like I don't really feel like it, I do it because I know eventually I'm going to find something that's going to like reignite that reading bug for me. So I just have to like keep pushing through. So I read in some form every single day, whether it's an audiobook or like physically reading. So that's kind of how I deal with a reading slump. Writer's block. Now, here's the thing. I have never dealt with writer's block in terms of like I have no ideas or like ideas are not coming to me. It's more so like I have had like, especially with Take What You Want, I had a really bad, I guess like self-doubt block where I genuinely didn't know if that book was ever going to get done because I just felt like such complete garbage about myself as a writer and about my capabilities as a writer. And the only thing that worked for me in that was just, I literally took like a month break and I just waited until Jane and Nikolai were like too overpowering in my head. And I was like, you need to get this book done. Like I needed to do it. Like it wasn't like I wanted to, it was like, I need to get back into writing. And that worked. I've never had issues with like, in terms of ideas, like that kind of writer's block, just because I feel like I almost have too many of them. And I'm like, can y'all quiet down? Especially when I'm trying to work on the book that I'm trying to work on. Like right now with Take Me Home, like I'm really, really trying to get that book like ready to go. And yet Walker and Scar are like, can you please write our novella? And I'm like, you need to wait your fucking turn right now. Thank you. Okay, I have 2 questions left. What's your favorite and least favorite about writing a book? I'm assuming part about writing a book. Favorite is the brainstorming time. It's the outlining time. It's the time where I'm just listening to the playlists that I create. It's the time where I'm just playing with them in my head. I'm letting them talk to me. I'm hearing them out. I'm letting them guide what the story is going to be. And I'm just kind of like the vessel of that. That is my favorite part. I love brainstorming. I also love starting off a book. I normally love writing like the first 10,000 words because that's normally like the first few chapters. Love that. And then I also love getting towards the end of the book. Like love that part. Least favorite part is the self-doubt. Least favorite would be probably I don't love editing. I don't love the big edits part. I don't love that part. And I'd say in the actual terms of writing, I hate the like 20,000 to normally like 50,000 word mark of writing. I don't like that part of the book because the fun of all the exposition, the introducing the characters, the kicking the story off, all of that excitement of first sitting down to write a book has died down. But also, especially with me, because I don't like writing like insta love, so I need to like slow burn it out. So I'm building that slow burn. So at some points I'm like, oh my God, like I just want to write them when they're already like together and in a relationship and like getting to like build that part of the book. But I'm not to that part yet. And then it's also seeming like the end of the book is so far out of reach that I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to finish this book. So I'd say that's my least favorite part. It's normally about, probably when you're reading it, like the 20 to like 45, 50% mark of the book is always my least favorite part to be writing. Because then after that point, I feel like it's like, it's fun, the tension has built up and it's bursted and you're like in it with them. And then you're like to the end of the book, which is always exciting and like an exciting push. But that first kind of like pillar part, oh, that's my least favorite. And last is, I have so many, but I'm fairly new to the channel, so I guess my main question would be what/who influenced you to start writing? I don't remember there being like an early influence, quite frankly. I just always, like, since I was a little kid, I wanted to be a writer. And like since I was in elementary school, I knew that that's what I wanted. And even as like I've kind of explored other things, like for a while I was like, I'm gonna be a baker, because again, like everyone says, like you can't make a living off of that. And granted, right now I could not make my living off of that, which is why I'm still working full time. But eventually one day, that is the hope. I've always wanted to. I've always loved reading. I've always loved writing. I've always loved being creative. So I always knew that I wanted to write. But specifically, I guess I didn't know what I wanted to write until I started reading romance books. So I guess like earliest on, you know, like when I discovered the After series, that was the first ever romance book that I ever read. And that's where I was like, oh, I'm in this shit. Like I love this genre. Then I knew that I wanted to write romance. So, I guess I just always knew. I always knew that I wanted to write. It was just about finding the right genre. And then obviously Take You Down was born from listening to the song Take You Down by Millennium. And I saw Walker and Scar in my head. I saw them play out. Granted, Walker was not a drummer at the beginning. Actually, he was another DJ as well. And then the band came into the aspect when I saw when I went to the Chainsmokers and 5 Seconds of Summer joint tour. And then I was like, holy shit, this is like a DJ act and a band. Because then I was like, I could make side characters. And then I was like, oh my God, what if there was a band photographer with them that fell in love with one of them? Hayden and Carter. Then I was like, what if one of them has a sister who's been around and it's a secret relationship? Jane and Nikolai. And then Reed's came about then later. His romance like came later, kind of as he unfolded more in my head. But yeah, a lot of that inspiration comes from music. That is it for my Chat Chill and Get Ready with me. I'm very glad to be back and doing these with you guys. I am hopeful that I can keep up with them, but like I said, it's just hard because like, so I'm on PTO today, so it's like I had time to actually like sit down and film getting ready, but it's like normally it's not like super light out or great, and I can't take like an hour out of my morning, even though this didn't take an hour, probably took like half an hour, 45 minutes. But I don't have time to like do these, you know, before work. And then on the weekends, like I don't want to be doing like full beat. Anyways, that's it for today's video. I don't know what'll be up next. I don't know what order this is going up with all the, I need to go and film actually after this. Well, I'm going to eat lunch probably, and then hang out, and then probably later tonight film my April wrap up and May TBR. So I don't know when this is going up in the order of that, but you'll see it when you see it. So anyways, that is it for today's video. Thank you all for submitting questions. If you have any more for next month, leave them below. Or again, I will do my ask on the community tab and on my Instagram. But anyways, that's it for today, and I will see you when I see ya.